start a new front with an attack on Iran is unclear.
We got this note from Stephanie in Pittsburgh, who says, why is the U.S. putting all sorts of restrictions on arms to Ukraine and how they can be used, and not putting any restrictions on arms to Israel, who, despite the atrocities of October 7th and October 8th, has responded in a brutal and disproportionate manner to its under-resourced occupied territories, Gaza, and also the West Bank, as well as its neighboring sovereign nation of Lebanon? Surely risking war with Iran and the destabilization of the whole Middle East is just as dangerous as risking war with Russia. Seb, I think that goes pretty well to the point that you were making. This is multi-front. This isn't a bilateral conflict necessarily between Israel and Iran. And the conflict continues in more vulnerable places than Tehran, in Gaza especially.
Absolutely, and there's also, it's October 7th is coming up next week, so it's been, a year now of this conflict. This humanitarian situation on the ground in Gaza continues to deteriorate, and there's just so much going on around the region, and it's going to start to spill into countries like Iraq over the next phases of this. So it's certainly becoming a regional conflagration. Very worrying.
We got this note from Rose in Long Island, who writes us, I wish you would address not just the wish for a ceasefire, but also the fact that we keep supplying the weapons. So blood is on America's hands. It's not enough to say we must just have a ceasefire. We have to stop supplying the weapons. Thanks for that note. A quick reminder, our guest Felicia Schwartz from the Financial Times, the economist Patrick Fowles, and award-winning international correspondent Seb Walker. I'm Todd Zwillich. You're listening to 1A. Well, we did just mention Iraq. Let's check in on Iraq, where on Monday, a U.S. military base in Baghdad hosting U.S. troops was hit by a rocket attack. The United States has about 2,500 troops in Iraq and about 900 in neighboring Syria as part of the coalition it established in 2014 to fight the Islamic State. Patrick, what do we know about vulnerabilities right now for U.S. troops and contractors in Iraq?
Well, I think this is just part of the sort of broader pattern where you've had a variety of militias across the Middle East do attacks on American troops over the last year as part of this, and obviously a fairly recent agreement obliges the US to wind down its presence in Iraq over the next couple of years fully. I don't think it's, to be completely honest, a kind of massive element of the calculus here for the US. You can imagine much greater things happening in terms of risk. It's not inconceivable, for example, the Houthis could destroy an American naval vessel